Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome for today's panel discussion. My name is Franz, and I am the chairman for today. And it is a great pleasure both to participate in the panel with our guests and to welcome you to this event. As we know, COVID-19 has a great impact to our lives, economy, and the whole world. It's really turned our lives upside down. The effects are truly felt by children and adults. No one can escape from it. And now that there are different vaccines available to help us and protect us from deadly virus, we have invited you today to inform the students about what COVID-19 vaccines are, the efficacy of the vaccines, and the importance of having vaccinated. According to the research, there are different vaccines manufactured from different countries. What are the different kinds of vaccines available and where it was manufactured?
There are a few sorts of COVID-19 antibodies being offered and has been supported by the Food and Drug Administration. Those vaccines are additionally characterized by their sort. First is the inactivated vaccine. The Sinovac antibody was the first carried out in the country. Inactivated vaccines use infection whose hereditary material has been obliterated so that they can replicate, yet can in any case trigger an immune response. These vaccines was developed by a Chinese biopharmaceutical company. Next is the mRNA or messenger ribonucleic acid vaccine. The Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna are mRNA-based immunization, which are made up of nucleoside-modified mRNA. BioNTech, a German company who developed these vaccines and teamed up with American company with the help of clinical preliminaries. And last is the viral vector vaccine. This type of shot utilizes a different virus as a vector and deliver instructions to the cell to produce the COVID-19 spike protein and expected to trigger an immune response. The AstraZeneca shot is an example of vector vaccine and made up from modified chimpanzee adenovirus. This vaccine is developed with the team of Britain's University of Oxford. And let us all remember that regardless of what kind of vaccine is utilized, they all have one objective, and that is to teach our immune system to fight off any bacteria and most especially viruses.
What are the things we need to know about COVID-19 vaccination side effects? Because most of the people are scared to be vaccinated because of some news circulated in the social media.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. You may have side effects after vaccination. These are normal and should go away in a few days. Typically it takes 2 weeks after vaccination for the body to build protection against the virus that causes COVID-19. You're not fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after the second dose of a 2-dose vaccine or 2 weeks after a 1-dose vaccine. Learn how to find the COVID-19 vaccine so you can get it as soon as you can. People who have been fully vaccinated can start to do some things that they had stopped doing because of the pandemic. Vaccines teach our immune system how to recognize and fight the virus that causes COVID-19. Typically it takes 2 weeks after vaccination for the body to build protection against the virus. That means it is possible a person could still get COVID-19 before or just after vaccination, and then get sick because the vaccine did not have enough time to provide protection. Common side effects. Results from vaccine safety monitoring efforts are reassuring. Some people have no side effects. On the arm where you got the shot, pain, redness, swelling. Throughout the rest of your body, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, fever, and nausea.
How to monitor so everybody will be aware of it.
Before vaccinating, step 1. Ask if the person getting vaccinated has ever had a severe allergic reaction to a vaccine. If yes, refer the person to an allergy specialist or health provider who will recommend next steps. Step 2. Assess any health or medical conditions listed as precautions by the vaccine manufacturer or by a local immunization program. These conditions may include pregnancy, compromised immune system, severe frailty among older persons. Step 3. Communicate common side effects after vaccination, which indicate that a person's body is building protection to COVID-19. Common side effects include arm soreness, mild fever, tiredness, headaches, muscle or joint aches. Step 4. Vaccinate. After vaccinating, Step 5. Observe the vaccinated person for 15 minutes. Tell them how and where to report severe reactions. Observe people with a past vaccine allergy for 30 minutes after they had been approved by a specialist. Step 6. Inform your supervisor immediately of any unexpected or severe reactions during the observation period or reported later.
What are we need to know before, during, and after vaccination?
First is do your research because there's a lot of misinformation about vaccines online. So it's important to always get your information from trustworthy sources like United Nations Children's Fund and World Health Organization. And if you have any question about whether you should receive COVID-19 vaccine, you should speak to your doctor. Keep your face mask on during your appointment and turn your face away from the face of the vaccinator to help keep you both safe. Stay at the vaccination center for observation period and some side effects are normal and expected. And also that's the sign that your body is building immune protection.
Who are the first priorities to be vaccinated? Advisable vaccines for a certain age if ever.
Frontline workers and uniformed personnel health are prioritized since they have the higher risk of exposure while on duty and to allow them to continue fulfilling their duties in both the public and private sectors. Vulnerable groups such as the elderly and the indigent population are prioritized guides by the principle of equity.
How long does the immunity last after COVID-19 vaccination? Should you take another vaccination to get immunity? Or does it mean that you will not get infected if you are vaccinated?
The vaccines offer immunity against COVID-19 for at least 6 months and might offer protection for up to 2 to 3 years. However, they will most likely have to be administered annually. And yes, I will take another vaccination to get immunity. It is really recommended for better long-term protection against the virus. Getting it as soon as you can is the best approach. It's possible a person could be infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 just before or just after vaccination and still get sick. This is because the vaccine has not had enough time to provide protection. But the risk is getting low because you have immunity that's given in vaccine. The vaccine drastically lowers the odds and will keep you from being hospitalized or killed by the coronavirus.
Do you know any famous personalities who has been vaccinated? And how was their experience?
Vice President Leni Robredo, according to her statement the day after her vaccination, she was a bit sleepy before her Q&A event around 5 p.m. yesterday. She was expecting chills and body pain to come anytime, but nothing came. On the next day, after she woke up, she didn't feel anything like chills and fever. Even her left arm didn't feel heavy.
Well, that's good to hear that our leaders and other famous personalities were already vaccinated and it has a positive feedback. It is important that we are knowledgeable about this matter to avoid any misleading informations. Let's proceed to the questions. We have a questions from our audience and our invited instructor will answer it.
Can I choose the kind of vaccine that will be injected to me? Why?
No, because it doesn't matter. The thing that matters the most is for you to get the first vaccine that will help you to keep safe from the virus and will serve the prevention from getting so sick to the point that you have to be in the hospital or possibly die from COVID infection. You can say that you like you like the AstraZeneca vaccine because it's more effective because what if what vaccine is already out of stock? We have to vaccinated as soon as possible because it's for the safety of us.
Why our kids are not allowed to get vaccinated? Is there any advisable type of vaccine if you have allergies?
The Pfizer BioNTech are still approved for use only in those aged 16 years old or older. And the modern vaccine is only for adults. They are lower risk of serious illness from COVID-19 and there are ethical issues around vaccine trials in children. But the delay may lead the problem. And they are still conducting from the efficiency in younger ages. CDC recommend the people get vaccinated even if they have a history of several allergic reactions not related to vaccine or injectable medications such as food, pet, venom, environmental or latex allergies.
I hope that it was too clearly explained by our instructor here. Any more questions?
Why some doctors and nurses hesitate to get vaccinated? Can you please explain where can we reserve booking or schedule for COVID-19 vaccination?
They want to be vaccinated against coronavirus as soon as they can. They see coronavirus-related deaths every day at work and see how patients suffer, how seriously ill patients see because of this virus, and they definitely want to get vaccinated against it. Also not only to protect themselves but also their relatives. They have a responsibility to protect others, but they don't want to be first in line. Many doctors and nurses believe that they don't belong in the high-risk group and are well protected by special clothing as the main reason for rejecting the vaccine. After receiving the vaccine, nurse would still have to wear mask so the inoculation will not bring many immediate relief. And it's still not unclear whether one could infect others even after receiving the vaccine.
How to book for vaccination? Where can we ask for schedule?
You can coordinate with your barangay officer for the registration and you have a schedule for the vaccines. But the frontliners, senior citizen, and comorbidity are the top prioritized so far. And the other way to get a schedule through online by using EasyQ, Easy Consult app. You will be evaluated through online and they will give you schedule when it's approved. You need to have 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine and 2 appointments. Book both appointments at the same time. Get second dose 8 to 12 weeks after getting your first dose. You have been had a positive COVID-19 test. You should wait 4 weeks from the date you had the test before you book an appointment. If you're under 40, you'll only shown appointment for the Pfizer BioNTech or Moderna vaccine. If you're 40 or over, you'll be asked you're pregnant to make sure you're only shown appointment for this vaccine about using the service. By using the service, you're agreeing to your term of use and privacy policy. You can use the service for someone else if they give you information.
Thank you to all our panelists and instructors for sharing all the information we need to know. We may think that it's scary to have vaccinated and it feels like we are all around samples of these vaccines. However, We need to understand that the government are really trying to find ways on how to protect us against this killer virus. I'm happy to discuss all of this with you, and I really appreciate all your participation. I hope that you have learned something and this discussion continues out in your school, into your family, and your friends. So everybody will be aware with all the facts and informations. Thank you guys for being here this morning.